Hello, everyone. I'm the Darius dad. He's right there.
I'm so glad this is on my channel.
So, this is one of the scrap pieces that Darius finished in his first project from the Sharika.
Link in the description below.
Get out of here. So, as you can see, it's not quite square, so we have to fix that. This is the template for what it's going to look like when I'm finished. Hopefully, I can finish it.
Okay, but I have a question first.
Do I have an answer?
Yes, you do.
Oh, good.
Is it going to be one of those 5.6 point things with the holes drilled all up in them?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's probably going to be very basic, very plain. However, that is a saw blade piece, so it's very thick. I hadn't seen one in a while, so I went and actually took a look at it. And yeah, it should probably be about half this width. This would be like, throwing a rock at somebody. When it hits them, it's going to hurt, regardless of it being sharp or not, or sticking or not. This could knock somebody out, because it's a pretty heavy piece of metal.
But smooth.
So, first order of business is to cut out into an actual square. We'll see how that goes. All right, pieces all set up. Let's boogaloo. That's not good. Boy.
Feeling unsure there?
Once you cut that first groove, it wants to stay in that groove.
Don't you want it to stay in that groove?
So the groove is off.
Get down.
I cut it off to the side a little bit just to do some test runs, and that was a mistake. I should have put it right on the mark. Also, something went in my eye. Just dirt. Not part of the project.
That smells like nasty.
Well, as a straight cut, unfortunately, it's not on the line.
Where'd the piece go?
Over there somewhere.
Somewhere?
Look, right on the magnet. Have you taped this yet?
No.
So we have metal shards all over the place. I went ahead and bought a little magnet to pick them up.
It's alive.
Oh, it doesn't want to turn anymore.
You know Barney from Ocarina of Time?
Who now?
The thing in the whale from Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that should be a noise that it makes, and also there should be a thing that it does. File time.
Huh?
It's file time.
Nah.
Here you go, have a file.
So, thanks.
Dang it. Also.
So that's the first time I've ever used an angle grinder. That's kind of addictive. Going right through that metal like butter.
Also, just for a record at home, don't buy Harbor Freight things. They suck.
Well, I've actually never seen a file with a handle before. I've only ever seen a file with this end, so I didn't know they came with handles. Like, grandfather and all those people always had files, and I didn't know they came with handles.
Grandfather.
Grandfather.
Grandfragier.
My Faja. Darius got a piece of metal in his foot just now. Not a bad one, just a wee one, right?
A wee little.
But it reminded me when I was a kid, we had come back from some kind of church school group, I can't remember what it was. We were coming back from vacation, and I was walking through the parking lot barefoot. I don't even remember, I remember walking through the parking lot barefoot and not really realizing anything had happened. We started breaking up, going all the different cars to go home and everything. I was like, man, my foot itches. I went like this to knock whatever it was off my foot. And I went, why is my hand bleeding? So I looked down and I stepped on a piece of glass and didn't realize it. So I'm telling Darius, don't worry, your feet get tougher as you get older.
Thank goodness.
Let me see. So yeah, if he keeps walking on these, that's gonna give him some tough old feet.
But maybe wait for them to not be burning hot.
Yes. Do not step on the hot coals. I've learned that lesson the hard way too. That's a story for a different day.
What?
first time using an angle grinder, reminds me of a chainsaw. It kind of just wants to go, wants to do the work for you. So, you know.
Wait a minute.
Keep a tight grip and let it do the work. All right, so I took it to the old speed square. And it's pretty doggone square. So that's the finished, well, the first set of cuts. And so then that's the template. Did that free-handed. Probably should have done a little paper.
A little stencil.
Stencil, yes, like that guy did, because that came out pretty good. Get your head out of here.
Why?
So I started doing them about a half an inch down, and I thought that's too big. So I actually scraped some of it back. And permanent marker comes off of metal pretty easy with your fingernail. Apparently it's not permanent on metal, so that's pretty cool. So as you can see, I'm sticking with the more traditional design, not the pointy bits. I mean, it'll have pointy bits, but not. It's gonna have the curved edges. All right. So anyway, more grindage. The what?
Safety pipe.
Safety pipe. Oh, I know what you're gonna do.
Shove it in there. There you go. Oh, wait a minute. Look at the other side. Look at the other side.
It's pretty thick.
Yeah.
It's just hard to get to.
I'll do it.
Safety pipe. You can pipe if you want to, or you can leave your friends behind. If friends don't pipe, and if they don't pipe, well, they're no friends of mine. Alright, so the initial cuts are done. Now I'm going to take it over to the bench grinder and finish it off. That's the plan, at least. Ah!
What?
When it slows down. So, put a little bit of an edge on there.
Oh.
A little bit. Not done yet.
So whenever you're working with hot metal and angle grinding stuff, you definitely want to be careful because one of the pieces of metal is actually hot enough to melt this. And that means that it's hot enough to melt you, so watch out.
Okay, so we're going to put a hole in the shuriken. The way shurikens don't have a hole in them because you'd hold them in one hand. I'm left-handed, but normally you'd switch it to the right hand. But anyway, so you'd hold them in one hand, and then with the other one, you would take them and fling them out like that. Kind of like you'd see in the video games.
Really?
They actually would throw them that way. Reach in, pull them out, and throw them. The hole in the middle is easy to grab them with. Makes it easier to not just be grabbing a flat piece of metal. So that's what it's for. I got a nice big drill bit in there.
Bread.
What size is that? That is a 3/8 inch. There is a bigger one, but that's about the right size, I think.
That one might be too girthy.
Now, I remember the last time how horrible this sounded, so let me get that ear protection on. Where's the oil, D?
What? Where'd you put it? It was right here.
I didn't touch it. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
It's right where you put it.
We found it.
Right over there. So, oh, that's a lot fuller than I thought it was.
Ew, gross.
Egads.
Egads, these are all nasty.
Sorry to hear that. Ah, let me adjust it again. They're not nasty. They're sweaty.
Sweat is nasty.
All right, so slow rotation, sharpen the bit,
Sharpen the bit. I haven't actually sharpened that
and I've also never used that one. And hold it up. Just give me the head ear protection. Thank you. All right, you gonna do that thing for me?
Yeah.
Did I plug it back in? No.
Are you ready, Dad? Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs?
Kill you range. Oh boy, it's through.
That was spooky scary.
So as we have found, this is some dadgum hardened steel. The bit broke before this thing came loose. That's just how much it jammed up in there. So I can see which parts we're going to be going through the most in these little projects. So we're going to try again to get this thing out in a different way. All right, well, Darius unchucks the busted bit, which he just did. Got it out, and that is a done deal right there. So that was only a few, about an hour, maybe 2 hours. Now let's keep in mind, of course, Darius was working with the caveman tools. We have a much better setup now, and he has actually shown me a lot of good ways to do things. So
I don't suck.
this is the result of all that lead up. So now, obviously, the old style stars have a square shaped cutout in there, just like this does. But we didn't have tools for that, so you know, we work with what we got.
Who wants to see my very first creation?
I don't know, man. Yours being that thin actually works probably a lot better than this big old fat sucker.
That's
So,
my very first one ever.
Darius's first one, and there's my attempt. You gonna toss it?
Yeah.
Trade. All right, we're gonna do the old over the shoulder throw.
I'm just gonna do a flick of the wrist.
I have no idea where that went.
I heard it hits a thing.
It's so thin I can't see it. Oh,
Oh, there it is.
what?
Oh,
You
jeez.
threw it in the ground.
It was a root, so it technically hit the tree, so.
All right, that's better.
That wasn't even that hard.
Yeah, that really goes in there.
That is so cool.
All right, my turn.
Oh,
I don't know if this thing sticks that well. The edges kind of gotten blunted.
alright.
All right, ready?
Those edges are all super blunt.
Here, throw it over my shoulder. Or film it over the shoulder. Uh-oh.
Where'd it go?
Right to my feet. That's not good. There we go.
We should have a friendly competition.
Friendly competition. What is it now? How many times you can hit the paper?
How many times you can hit the paper without it falling out?
And who's first?
Roll,
I don't know. Oh wait, you just threw. That's 0.
what's sportsmanship?
My turn. Oh God! It's out in the grass.
Wait, I saw where it went.
Oh good. Ah, so close. come on. So close. Oh, come on. That was there.
T-Bug says it doesn't stick.
Oh, yeah?
That's Dad, and I'm Darius, and this is Dude Decent. Throwing star.
Old school.
Yeah.
Whoa!